You are not just buying a phone. You are checking into a high-end digital hotel where the doors only lock from the inside. Right now, Apple sits on a $3 trillion throne, a number so large it's hard to visualize. It is more than the GDP of most nations. But this isn't a story about hardware or clever marketing. This is a story about the most successful psychological operation in the history of capitalism. Have you ever wondered why, even when a competitor releases a better camera or a faster screen, you still can't bring yourself to leave? It's because Apple has spent decades studying your brain, mapping your insecurities, and building a gilded cage so comfortable you'll fight anyone who tries to let you out. The stakes are your autonomy, your social status, and every cent of your future earnings. Welcome to the ruthless psychology of the ecosystem. It begins with the myth of convenience. We call it the walled garden. On the surface, it's a paradise of seamless integration. Your AirPods pair instantly, your photos sync without effort, and your watch knows what your phone is thinking. But every time you add a new device to this web, you aren't just gaining a feature. You are adding a new deadbolt to the exit. This is the sunk cost fallacy weaponized. Once you've spent $5,000 on a MacBook, an iPad, and an Apple TV, the cost of switching to an Android phone isn't just the price of the new device. It's the total destruction of your entire digital workflow. Apple knows that humans are loss-averse. We would rather stay in a restrictive system we know than face the friction of rebuilding our digital lives from scratch. They have made the exit so painful that staying feels like the only logical choice. But the real genius lies in the social engineering. Consider the blue bubble. To a software engineer, it's just a line of code. To a teenager, it is a matter of life or death. By color-coding messages, Apple created an immediate visual distinction between the in-group and the out-group. The green bubble is a digital scarlet letter. It signifies lower quality video, broken group chats, and a lack of encryption. This isn't a technical limitation. It's a choice. Apple purposefully keeps iMessage exclusive to trigger our primitive tribal instincts. We are social animals programmed to fear exclusion. By making the other look broken and inferior, Apple doesn't have to market their phones. Your friends do it for them. The fear of being the one who breaks the group chat is a more powerful sales tool than any billboard could ever be. They have successfully outsourced their peer pressure to your social circle, turning every iPhone user into an unpaid enforcer of their market dominance. Then there is the sensory manipulation. Apple understands that we don't just use technology, we feel it. Every click, every swipe, and every haptic vibration is tuned to release a microdose of dopamine. The way an iPhone box slides open with just the right amount of air resistance is a choreographed ritual. It creates a sense of luxury and preciousness before you even touch the screen. This is a psychological phenomenon called the halo effect. If the box feels premium, the product must be premium. If the product is premium, you must be a premium person for owning it. They have successfully linked their brand identity to your self-worth. When someone criticizes Apple, users often feel it as a personal attack. That's because the marketing has moved past the product and into the soul. You aren't a customer, you're a member of a congregation. The ecosystem also feeds on our desire for minimalism and control. In a chaotic world, Apple offers a clean, white, curated space where it just works. This simplicity is a mask for extreme complexity. By removing ports, buttons, and user control, Apple forces you to rely entirely on their solutions. They create the problem like removing the headphone jack and then sell you the $30 billion a year solution, AirPods. This is the razor and blade model, but polished to a mirror finish. They don't just sell you the razor, they decide who is allowed to manufacture the blades and take a 30% cut of every blade sold. This is the power of the App Store. By positioning themselves as the sole gatekeeper of a $1 trillion economy, they have created a system where they profit from every interaction you have with your device. Whether you are buying a coffee, playing a game, or subscribing to a workout app, Apple is there, silently taking its tax. Even their privacy stance is a masterclass in psychological positioning. By branding themselves as the privacy company, they have occupied the moral high ground. It's a brilliant move that allows them to kneecap their competitors like Meta and Google while tightening their own grip on your data. They aren't protecting your data from everyone. They are protecting it from everyone except Apple. This builds a deep parental trust. We trust them with our faces, our fingerprints, and our medical records. This level of intimacy creates a psychological bond that is almost impossible to break. Who else are you going to give your heart rate data to? A company you don't trust? By becoming the safe choice, they become the only choice. The true ruthlessness comes from how they manage time. Apple is always looking 5 years ahead. They don't just want your current phone, they want your children's first phones. By integrating iPads into education and making the family sharing plan the center of the household, they are grooming the next generation of consumers. Once a child grows up in the ecosystem, the thought of switching is as foreign as learning a new language. It becomes their native digital tongue. They are building a lifetime of recurring revenue, ensuring that as long as you live, you will be paying the Apple tax. As we look toward the future, the walls of the garden are only getting higher. With the introduction of spatial computing and even deeper integration into our homes and cars, the ecosystem is moving from our pockets into the very air we breathe. The psychology remains the same. Make it beautiful, make it exclusive, and make it impossible to leave. We are living in a world where a single corporation has successfully mapped the human psyche and turned our most basic needs connection, status, and safety into a $3 trillion subscription service. You might think you chose your phone because it's the best technology on the market. But the truth is, the choice was made for you years ago by a team of psychologists and engineers who knew exactly how to make you fall in love with your own confinement. The ecosystem isn't a product. It's a lifestyle, a religion, and a cage. And the most terrifying part? We don't want the key, we just want the next model.